Decode Cinderella, the movie. Okay, this is Decoding Cinderella, the movie, the 1950 version. We're gonna get started. With the 1950s version, I noticed that her dress was different. When it came to Cinderella, I always thought that she always had a blue dress. That's how we can differentiate. differentiate. We could tell the difference between all the Disney princesses, like who's Cinderella. But again, she had a lot of similarities to Aurora because they kind of look alike to me. So that's probably why they um, changed her dress. I don't know. But anywho, her dress was silver in the 1950 version of Cinderella. The original version, she had a silver dress. It was a beautiful silver. It looked white, in my opinion. And when I saw that, I felt like that was it's like she turned into a swan. Like when I see the color white, a white dress, it was like it reminded me of like a swan, someone who is beautiful, someone who is divine. But what I decoded about Cinderella is she was a divine being. She represents the Empress. If you did not know, she represents the Empress. That's what I gather in my decoding. However, I saw something with this. So we know that her father died. When her father died, she was raised by her stepmother, and once her father died, she saw the true colors of the people around her. Okay, so how I decoded that part, it was more so like Cinderella was kept hidden, or she was sheltered from the outside world. She didn't know the true world, or she didn't know people true intentions. Like she was always protected from that by her father. It was like she always had like a figure, someone in her life protecting her from seeing the truth of the world, the hardship of the world. Even though she was sheltered and she was kept like basically locked up, she didn't really grow up outside of that home that she was living, but she was still sheltered. When she was young, she was sheltered, so she didn't know people's true intention outside of her father. That's all she knew. So once he died, it was like a cultural shock for her. Not even a cultural shock, it was a shock for her once she saw the true colors of her stepmother and her siblings. They treated her like shit, they treated her like dirt. It was as if there was like an illusion put on Cinderella. Like she didn't see them for who they really were. She was spoiled, yes, by her father, but like she was protected. And I feel like that was very the way that the movie is shown. It's significant. So she was protected, but when her father died, she was grieving. Like she was mourning. She was in mourning. What did I tell you guys about mourning? There was a process that I mentioned with that. I said there's the mourning, and then the crystallization, and then there's I said the rebirth, the death of the rebirth type of thing. So when you're in mourning, it's like something has died, something has passed over. So she was in mourning, something has died within her. In my opinion, when they showed that part, I feel like it was something of like was taken away, like that illusion was taken away. She could see clearly now. And the illusion that was in her life was her dad. He protected her. He shielded her in a way from what was real. So once that was gone, she saw true reality. Her stepmother, she saw her for who she really was, and she saw her stepsisters who they really were, based on what they were treating her like. And I'm gonna read the comments, you guys. I see you, but I just want to go to the channel. But so Cinderella had no choice but to accept her fate in a way, like accept her situation. But even in her situation, when she was dealing with this harsh, cold reality that she did not like, she was still a dreamer. She kept she was like always dreaming. She always had wants, desires, wishes to go out, to go far, to see something, to be something. You could tell based off how she was. Like she even spoke to animals, right? Um, like it came to life to her. Like those were her friends. It kind of like, I feel like that part when she was speaking to animals, I feel like it was a way of to show that she was a dreamer. Like it's like what she dreamed came to life. I know how that sounds, but I really feel like Cinderella was gifted, especially when we get to the godmother. Okay, but anyways, so she always daydream because she did not like her reality, so she created a reality in her mind and her dream. Even when she woke up from her dream, she was in like good spirits, right? And then the animals asked her, why are you so happy? She said, I can't tell you, then my dream won't come true. Remember she said that? And she said that to the mouse, my dream won't come true. So I feel like that indicate that, well, again, she's very gifted. Like I feel like she can manifest what she truly wants. I feel like Cinderella is a form of manifestation, but like the way that she manifested, she manifested a reality for herself. She manifested the godmother. She manifested the carriage, the horses, the beautiful dress. That was all her. I'm gonna get to that. You guys, I'm cooking. I'm at my sister's house, but I'm cooking. Um, she showed that she good at everything she did, and they emphasized that as well. Yes, she was like she came off as perfect, right? Again, and I feel like once her father died and she dealt with the true reality of how people really truly felt about her, she saw like the stepmother was jealous of her. It was blatantly shown. The stepsister was definitely jealous of her. They were hating bad. Um, so so going back to the dream reference, because she kept daydreaming, or she was in good spirits. I remember she, like the beginning of the movie, she woke up singing, like she was humming at first and she was singing, and then the mouse, it made the mouse in good spirit too. So like I feel like when she's in good spirit, the people that she created in her mind, they feel what she feels. I don't know how that sounds, but they feel how she feels. Okay, it's like they were connected to her. Especially, we're gonna get to the colors. Okay, we're gonna get to the color reference. Because the mouse, they were wearing what colors? They were wearing the color clothes that they were wearing. They were wearing yellow, red, blue, pink. I wrote the colors down, which we saw those patterns before. In what movie? Oh, thank you. Um, I know I wrote the colors down. Jason, yes. Red, yellow, blue, pink, and green. Which I'm going to get to the color reference, okay? So we know that she can dream her reality, what she wished for herself. So we saw the interaction with the stepmother and the sister. They treated her so horribly, but even in that condition, she was still herself. She didn't allow those things to break her spirit. She still had that good spirit, and each time they witnessed that her happiness, they would try to break her down or take something away from her. That mourning process. They want her to all constantly be in that mourning process, in which I told you mourning is like a death, right? You're grieving something that you lost, that was let go, something that was gone, and it could be a good thing or a bad thing. But I feel like the movie Cinderella is a metaphor. Okay, what she lost was that protection that protected her for so long. She had to face true reality. Like these people that I thought I knew, these people that my father loved and knew, wasn't the real people that was shown. It's like her lens was flogged, like not flogged, but like the lens that she was looking into, like lens that she had was, again, it was an illusion. Like she was protected from seeing life for what it really is. Like people have bad intention, people don't wish you well. And so when she saw that with her stepmothers and her stepsisters, and she was going through that, she obeyed to what they wanted, but at the same time, she still had this desire, this dream, this want, this wish, this always daydreaming of a better future for herself. She always had hope. That's the word. She always had hope. And despite all the things, her condition, her circumstances, her environment, she was still she still had her heart. She still had that hope, that desire, that things will be better for her. And each time these people that will treat her wrong and harshly, they would witness her happiness. They would witness her good spirit, this like nature of her, this perfection of her. They would witness that, and they want to strip it away from her. Like even like with the stepmother, when they got invited to the ball, and then Cinderella got so happy and she wanted to go too. Like she was just so happy, like because she never been to something like this. So once the stepmother and the stepsister saw her happiness and like how she was behaving, they were plotting. They start to plot on her. They start to want to strip her away her happiness. They don't like that she's just a beautiful girl. She's very talented. She's gifted. All these things, and they want to strip that away from her. So that's what I feel like Cinderella was showing me. The movie Cinderella was showing me. So fast forward to this invitation, the invite. I feel like the invite was an opportunity for her. This opportunity was a plan from the I feel like her father represents something, and I'm gonna get to that. I feel like the invitation was a plan for her to escape or for her to leave her circumstances. Like I feel like Cinderella grew up in an illusion, but I just felt like she grew up sheltered. Like the think of the what's her name? What's her name, you guys? The one who was locked in the tower. She's another Disney princess, and she was locked in the tower for so long, and she always daydreamed of a better future. But she had long hair. There's many different versions of that story, but we know that story, right? Rapunzel, yes. It reminded me of that. So Cinderella grew up very sheltered, right? I feel like her father represents her destiny, right? A promise. I feel like her father represents a promise to her, and she cling on to that. She hold on to that. Even when he died, right? Her father, her destiny died, or she thought it went away. Just follow me here. She thought it went away, and she was in mourning. She was grieving, and harsh reality hit her. Like she's like, "What the heck?" But she still had that hope. And I feel like that invitation was her father, like coming back around, like, no, I'm always here for you. Even if I'm not, you can't see me and you are experiencing these things, I'm still here for you. I'm not gone. What's that promise is still there for you. And I'm happy that you held on to your hope. You didn't allow these people to turn your hope down or to erase your hope, to erase your light, right? So that's how I took that interpretation of that movie. So the invitation was an opportunity that came from her dad, which her dad represents her destiny. Okay, so or time, going back to time, because I mentioned that in the Jason movie, the or was it the Jason movie, or it was something that we was decoding, and I said the 12 and the 3, the shorthand and the longhand coming together, and the time was referenced in Cinderella. That's one of the movies that people always reference about, oh, when they hit midnight, so time is very much referenced in this movie. So I really feel like that was her father, but her father represents time, represents that promise, that her destiny, what was always promised to her. Like you will always be protected. You will always be loved. You will always get what you want, because again, she was spoiled. She always got what she wanted. Like if you watch the beginning of Cinderella, how her father treated her, she always got what she wanted. She was spoiled. And basically time or destiny was telling her like you will always get what was always meant for you. But it's like she needed to go through that harsh, cold reality of dealing with people true attention, like people who was not like her, who was not like her father, because everybody is not the same. And she grew up sheltered. She grew up protected. So Once that was stripped away, it was like destiny or time, her father wanted her to go through that path and to see, to understand, like, you're different. You're not like everybody else. You have this light to you, right? But you, not only do you have this light to you, you have a lot of hope to you, but you're also gifted. Like, it's like she had to see that. Okay, so the invitation. Hold on, you guys. My sister's calling me, so I'm gonna jump right back in because I really need to answer this call. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. um, but yeah, so she was protected. Hold on, how's the connection, you guys? Because I was in a phone call, so how's the connection? Mm. Great, 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 great. I'm happy. Okay, so we know that the invitation came, and the stepmother was happy. Her sibling was so happy, and Cinderella got so excited. Like, she's like, "Oh my god! Like, this is something that she never experienced before, and this was also her opportunity." And this is also her father's way, or that promise, that wish, that desire, that thing that was always protecting her, to say, "Here, I'm here. Can you see me?" Right? So she took that as an opportunity. So Cinderella got so excited, she went to her room and she found a dress that she wanted to wear. It was a old dress that her mother wore. It was pink, the color pink. Okay, so she got so excited. She showed all her magical little friends, or magical mouses. Um, they weren't magical, but we're they came to life. Like, they could talk. So we're gonna say that they were magical. But she showed them. She was so excited, and all of a sudden, when she went and go, she put on a dress on, right? And I think she fixed it up a little bit, or it was the second dress. No, she put on the dress a little. She put on the dress, and then somehow the stepmother and the stepsisters saw her in that dress, the dress that her mother had, and she put it on. They did not like that when they saw her in that dress. Like, you saw how they treated her when she put on that dress, that pink dress. I think she fixed it up, or the mouse did. No, that was the second. Cause did it feel? Yeah, it was terrible. Okay, was it the second dress they tear apart, or was it the first one? Cause I remember she was making her clean, like, oh, if you have time. So she was trying to hurry and like do all the chores that the stepmother assigned her. So when I saw that part, when the stepmother saw how excited Cinderella was, like, to go to this ball, she started to plot a plan to like stop her, to like, I guess, bring her down, drag her down. Like, she was not going to allow her to escape her grasp. She wanted that control over Cinderella. She liked that Cinderella follow her every need. She loved that Cinderella followed her. So she tasked her with a lot of chores so that she won't be done in time. But I remember something about the dress. She was going to fix it up, but the stepmom gave her a bunch of chores. The mouses fixed it up, so she was able to go. But when the stepsister noticed it had pieces of the scrap. Yes, now I remember. The dress was her mother's dress, right? But it was an old dress. So, and Cinderella planned to fix it up, but she didn't have time to because all the chores. So her magical friends, they decided to fix it for her, in her place. But Cinderella didn't know that they was going to do that. But they decided to do it anyways. But they stole stuff from her stepsisters. Okay, and once they saw Cinderella in that dress and the items that she wore that belonged to them, at first they didn't realize it. The stepmother did. See, and the stepmother plotted on her. She plotted on her, and she kind of like, the stepmother was very manipulating, conniving little bitch she was. I did not like the stepmom. But it represents people like her, a narcissist, a manipulator, okay. And the stepsisters represents haters. They hating. They always hating on what they don't have or what they think they have, because they cannot see for the life of them. I remember that part. But anywho, and they was not attractive, so they was hating on Cinderella because she was perfect. She was everything that they desired to be, and so they wanted to tear her down, take everything away from her, especially her light. But anyway, she was still Cinderella at the end. So like, it's like, I feel like the movie Cinderella is like, nothing can tear you down if you don't allow it. Nothing can tear you down if you don't allow. Like, always hold on to your light. Yes, her light was dim a little time, like a few times, but it was still there, and she shined through at the very end. And I was so happy for her. But when she wore that dress, okay, that pink dress, I feel like it represents her inner child, like what she always wanted to do, like her desire coming into fruition. That color pink, I feel like it represents her desires, like something of the past, but it was something. I feel like it represents her innocence. It represents something, a memory, something precious to her. That's how I interpret the color pink. Something that is precious to her, a memory, something that brought some type of innocent to her. She was always innocent. It's like, I'm trying to explain it the best way I can, but it was something of her childhood. Before that hard, cold reality hit her, it was something of her childhood that she remembers. So that's why I feel like the color pink represents a memory of something that was never tainted. So when they ripped that apart, that dress, they were cold. It's like they tainted her memory, or they tainted something of what she hold dear to her, and that broke her. It made her. I got chills for a little bit, but it did hurt her a lot. So she started to cry. She ran away and started to cry, and she was just crying. And I feel like the stepmother too intervened, like, because there was another opportunity for her. No, when that happened, Cinderella was just grieving. She was in sadness. She was in sadness, and so at that point, Cinderella gave up. Like, she gave up on herself. Like, she gave up. Like, okay, you see, all these things keep happening. I'm trying my best, but it looks like I'm not gonna go. Like, she accepted it, but at the same time, she was still longing. She still had that desire, that hope. And all of a sudden, when that happened, when the stepmother and the stepsister, they got dressed and they left, Cinderella wasn't grieving, right? She was grieving, and all of a sudden, the godmother popped up. Again, that opportunity, but I feel like she did that. It's like her emotions. It's something about her emotions. It ties into what she does, like, manifests. Because remember, I said when she's happy, she manifests happy things for her. When she's sad, she manifests sad things for her. Or something like that. Or when she's sad, she manifests something hopeful, like something magical. I think my sister's here. Right? Something magical. And that's when her fairy godmother came. Okay? And when her fairy godmother came, she had a wand and magic and all that. and she gave everything to Cinderella what she wanted that night. But she said, "But hey, there's a it's like a contract, or there's a time limit to it, right? When the clock hits 12, you have to return." So I feel like that part was also part of the opportunity from her father, the time, the protection. That was an opportunity for her, like, hey, we're gonna show you what's out there for you. We're gonna show you, like her father's like, I'm gonna show you what's out there for you. This night is your night. You're gonna look beautiful. You're gonna have everything you want, and you're gonna go. So she went there. She had a time of her life. She was dancing with the prince. She didn't even know that she was dancing with the prince. She's the most beautiful woman there. She had a beautiful time there. It was the best night of her night. But then she heard the clock. Ding! It's 12 o'clock now. Time is up. So I feel like that was a decision for her. She had to make. I don't know if she was dreaming that she dreamt that night, or it was something that opportunity manifested for her. But then I feel like it was a dream within a dream. I know how that sounds. It was a dream within a dream. Like, Cinderella is met with two destinies or two paths. Like, if you stay here, if you stay with your stepmother, your stepsisters, this is what's going to happen. Are you going to fight for what you want? And I feel like the prince in that ball, or that the outside world, was her opportunity to leave, that leave the nest, or to follow her own desires. Like, Cinderella was older. She wasn't a child anymore. So that's very significant. She wasn't trapped. Like, the lady was treating her like a child. She was not trapped. It was like that movie was showing young people like us that you are in control of your own destiny, your own path. Like, she had the key to her desires. Like, this is what she wanted. She could have just went anytime that she wanted. Like, she was not a child. That's the thing that people forget. Like, yeah, she was older. Yes, like, her stepmother raised her, but it was like her mental was trapped. She wasn't. She could have left anytime that she wanted. And I feel like when the godmother said she has till 12, it was like an inner, because I feel like she manifested that dream. She lived a dream within a dream, and that godmother was like a conscious of her, or something of her, telling her, like, you have a chance to live this life. You have a chance to go here. You don't have to stay where you at. Just fight for what you want. So it was like, that's how I interpret that part. I know, like, you're like, how do you get there? That's how I interpret it. And when she left the glass slipper behind, and the Duke found her glass slipper, something about the glass, cold. Okay, like, it represents ice to me, cold. Like, she was wearing ice shoes, but she was running, and then one of them was left, and she was trying to go back, but she was like, I can't. Like, it was like she was in a standstill. Like, she couldn't make the decision that she needed to make, even though she knew what she wanted. It was like she felt like, oh, well, this is what I know, and I can't leave, but this is what I wanted. But it's like, like, she was like that, and then she just went back. She went back. Cinderella could have been Cinderella. It doesn't matter. Like, she thought she had to have all this thing just to enjoy the ball. That was another thing too. But even so, she went back. Her mind was trapped. Okay, so she went back, and she endured the same mistreatment from the stepmother, and especially when the stepmother found out it was Cinderella that was at the ball. I'm kind of summarizing the movie here, you guys, at this point, but the opportunity came to her again. Okay, the Duke, okay, came to her in a way, is like, okay, yes, we show you this. You saw that dream, so this is an opportunity. Like, what are you going to do? I'm here. are you gonna fight? So at the end, you kind of saw Cinderella fighting for herself, and the mouse was helping her. Like her magical friends was helping her to to remember her, like to remind her of her spirit. And each time that I realized that each time Cinderella made that decision to like leave or to like follow what she wanted, the stepmother and the stepsister always blocked her. They always try to drag her down and always try to strip her away. Especially when the Duke was trying to like fit the glass slipper on her foot, and the stepmother broke the glass slipper. She broke it like by hitting the Duke in the back, and then he like it fell on his hand. But again, I feel like the other half of the glass slipper that Cinderella had was the key. She had the key the whole time. That glass slipper was the key. That was her shoe. And then she put it on. It's like, oh, it fits. And what happened? Her life changed. She had the key the whole time. Yes, these people was trying to block her, but she could have walked out anytime, but her mind was trapped. They had her because she was not a child no more, you guys. That's the thing that people are forgetting. She was older. She was a maiden. Okay? Her destiny came knocking. It was like she knew as a young child what she was destined to have, what she always wanted. And she was protected. That protected her as a child. But when reality hit her hard, she was in mourning. It's like her mind became trapped, and to escape the reality that she was living in, she created a reality for herself, a dream. Like she daydreamed, like that's she was living in her mind, right? This whole time she just kept singing to bring her good spirits, but she wasn't living in reality, right? But she could manifest reality. It's really weird, but she could manifest what she wanted for herself. She was a very good manifester. But at the very end, she chose herself. And she realized she had the key the whole time. The glass slipper represents the key. What would you choose? And she chose the prince. And then she lived happily ever after. So that's basically what happened. She chose her destiny. She chose what she wanted, her heart. She chose herself. That is what I decoded in the movie Cinderella. So let's go to the color reference. So pink represents a memory, something precious, something innocent, something that she held dear to her. Okay? Something that she kept hidden within her that she would never forget. Okay? This is something that was pure, something that was never tainted. That's what color pink represents. The color blue represents the maiden, the empress. Okay? It represents her royalty, especially at the end. Let's just say that she wore the blue dress, but she actually wore the silver, I believe. But the blue dress is she was in her true form, okay, her true essence, her true energy, her true divinity. I feel like the blue represents royal blue, okay, her divine energy. The color green represents independence, letting go. Red represents boldness. You're doing something you never thought you'd do. That's the number red. Yellow represents following your path. Follow the yellow brick road. So yellow is like following what you want to do. Like, pay attention to the mouse. They the one that was wearing those colors. Look at their personalities. It will tell you all those things. Okay, so like Gus, he wore a yellow shirt. He followed what he wanted to do. He was the main mouse that was always getting into trouble, and I think he had a green hat or something like that. But I remember he had a yellow shirt, so he definitely did follow his own path. He just followed what he wanted to do. But yeah, he was just. I was like, dude, mouse, and trying to be greedy with the cheese. But yeah, so we're gonna get into the color pattern because it's gonna pop up again. Because I noticed that most of these movies keep popping those same color scheme. So I'm trying to figure like there's a code in all this when it comes to the colors. Cause it keeps popping up. Because when I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute. That was in Jason movie, the colors. What is this reference with red, green, blue, yellow? And I'm sure it's going to pop up again. Okay? So it's talking about torn between two decisions, two choices. Which one? You obviously know. She obviously knew what was the right choice for her, but again, it's like she had to go back to figure it out again. And once she realized it was her mind that kept her trapped, it was like no matter what these people did, even though they were horrible people, it was her that gave them power, if that makes sense. It was her that kept herself trapped. And the other option was the prince, which was her destiny, her desire, her wishes to become this. She was the queen or the princess, right? She was meant to be this princess. So it was torn between the two decisions. That's how I reference that, especially the part where she was running down the staircase and then one of the glass slippers slipped out her shoe. One of the key was left behind, and she had the other key. 12 and the 3 become 1. She followed her heart. She became whole again, complete. So that's what my interpretation was of this movie in my decoding. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Oh, my sister's here. Okay, I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye. All right, I'm gonna see. Hold on. Hey, bye. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Bye.
How it pissed me off.
What happened?
Before I got here,